online at WNSR.com. And now, George Plaster.
Featuring Tennessee Sports Hall of Famer Watson Brown, Tennessee Sports Hall of Famer Kelly Holcomb, along with young gun Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in. What you see in the background is not the Ford Ice Center. It's my rec room. It's true. They're out for the next few days. Closing up shop, I think, around 5 o'clock today. So the next 2 days of our show will be here, and welcome. Make sure you see that, because we're very proud of that. And, you know, kind of excited about some things that are going on. All of a sudden, slow July has roared in like crazy. Let's go to Murfreesboro. Say hello to Kelly Holcomb. Kelly, how are you?
I'm good, George. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm very good.
You like the weather today? Did you give a weather forecast?
Not really. I think today unusually seasonably mild. How about 83 and sunny? How about Thursday, 94 and sunny? Kelly, I will claim that there's a big difference between roasting at 94 and being fairly pleasant at 83. There's just a big gap there.
Big gap. I'll definitely say that. There's no humidity. The wind's blowing. It feels nice outside right now. And then you pull the humidity back in and it's no fun.
It's July 4th kind of stuff. That's what it is.
Correct.
Okay, so Kelly, I want your honest feedback here. Are you happy Billy is back?
I am kind of happy Billy's back. I thought Billy too did a really good job. I did. I think he's conscientious about his work.
Excellent job.
I think he did an excellent job. Billy's back. I talked to Billy earlier. He said he went on vacation. I asked if his girlfriend went on vacation with him, and he said no.
Okay.
And then, I don't know where to go with that. I said a lot of things to him about that. Does she really, truly like him? Are we still involved? What are we doing? I don't know. It's a long-distance relationship.
Is that a crime that she didn't go?
Well, it's a long-distance relationship. She's having her fun, Billy. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying?
Too much. We need to mute Kelly already.
How would you have liked it if that kind of dirty laundry had gotten aired on you?
Kelly, you can't take Kelly serious. That's the thing.
No, you can't.
Which is the good thing.
So you had a nice vacation.
I did.
Yeah, you didn't miss us.
No, I did. And,
No,
that was a heck of a week
lie. Do not.
to miss, though. People were saying I missed on purpose because I knew Tennessee was going to win the national title. That was not the case.
You sure?
Yeah, this was planned about a year in advance.
Yeah. Did you root against them?
No, certainly not.
You're so lying right now, so lying. And somebody wanted to know, and I want to know too, did you wear sunscreen? I hope you did.
I did. I had to wear sunscreen.
Yes, you do.
If I don't wear sunscreen, that's bad news.
You're one of those fellas that gets sunburned by the moon.
Wow.
That was a good line.
That was a good line. So, have you paid attention today to what my Preds have been up to?
As in Kelly?
No, I'm asking Kelly.
Okay.
I have seen some moves, man. They are. Who's this guy from Tampa Bay, man? Is he really good?
Steven Stamkos?
Yeah.
He's a stud.
Stud. He got paid like a stud, too.
He did. So, Kelly, I don't know if you were on when I said this. I don't know if I said it Thursday or Friday. I made the comment that by July the 4th, I felt like we would have a really good idea of what the Predator future over the next 2 to 4 years would be like. Am I surprised that Barry Trotz has gone for the Downs? Nope.
Wow.
I believed him all along, and you've heard me say that I've got total confidence in him. I have believed all along that when he said, I didn't come here to limp into the 8th and final playoff spot every year. I came here to try to bring a Stanley Cup champion to this city. Well, you know what? I believe him.
Man, he's doing it.
I suspect those who didn't believe are now believing.
You know, I know we're going to have Guy. Yeah, I know we're going to have Guy on, but I've told y'all several times that I thought the future looks really, really, really bright for the Nashville Predators, and I think all these guys they've signed. We were talking about, you know, UC Soros maybe being up on the trading block, and he's getting paid too. So I think Barry Trotz obviously has been in this business for a long time. He knows what he's doing, and he's going out and doing it. You're right. I mean, what he said in his press conference, he don't want to be the 8th team just, you know, limping to get into the playoffs. I mean, he's doing something about it, and you got to love it if you're a Predators fan.
Billy, do we now have an update?
We do have an update.
Okay, let me remind you of something.
Okay.
We want the update to have meat on the bone. Okay, I don't want to hear schedules, reading of Oklahoma will be at Texas in October. I want meat on the bone.
There's always meat on the bone.
No, there's not always meat on the bone. I think Kelly.
Billy too had meat on the bone.
Oh, so Billy too had some meat on the bone.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did.
I mean,
well, I've got some too.
being perfectly honest.
It's brought to you by Lori Burnett Leland. Give her a call, 615-969-4350, or log on to her website, mortgageladyyusa.com. Just talked about it with the Preds. We're going to get into it with Guy, Stamkos, Marchessault. They got Brady Shea from the Hurricanes. They picked up a goaltender, Scott Wedgwood, on a 2-year deal. So I'm sure we'll be diving deeper into that with Guy.
Yeah, that one brings a lot of questions with it.
Well, because obviously Lankinen is no longer a Pred. What happens with Askarov is the big question now.
That's a really good question.
I don't think he's a Pred for much longer.
No.
I think we can all agree on that.
But as for Tyson Barrie, see ya.
Yeah, Tyson Barrie's out.
Tyson Barrie, I have a feeling, pissed off Barry Trotz very early last year with some of his I'm not happy.
Some of his antics.
There was no chance he was coming back here.
Kiefer Sherwood, Jason Zucker, no longer Preds either. They obviously re-signed Saros. Carrier, re-signed Alex Carrier on a 3-year deal.
Have they done it?
Just recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Pierre LeBrun, he broke just about he's everywhere. He's the Woj.
Pierre is Woj.
Yeah, he's the Woj.
Woj on skates.
But Juuso Parssinen has a qualifying offer out. So does Tomasino. So does Spencer Stastny. So what happens, I think, with those 3 guys right there is going to be interesting.
Well, first of all, you can take to the bank that Stastny has a big role with this team. Tomasino, I don't think so, because Andrew Burnett dusted him in his end-of-the-season press conference to the point that I was really shocked at how far Andrew went. Parssinen, I don't know what to think.
You got to think he's got a role, though, somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, what it is, I don't know. I know this. All of a sudden, this is a team that people may be going, ooh, might not want to play them.
Yeah, and for me, Joe, we were going to feel good about this team, I think, in the offseason. We knew they were probably going to get younger and make some moves, but, I mean, they got older. Stamkos is 34. Marchessault, Marchessault had 42 goals last year. Stamkos, 40. I mean, what he's done in one day, Barry Trotz, has been insane.
What it also appears to me is that they're allowing their farm system, which has not been all that great in recent years, to kind of restock.
Just milk the clock on that?
Yeah, maybe. By the way, they also announced October the 10th will be the season opener at Bridgestone against the Dallas Stars.
in full schedule reveal tomorrow. I heard at 11 a.m. I want to say for the NHL for teams. So stay tuned for that. Klay Thompson in the NBA has joined the Mavericks on a 3-year, $50 million deal. This ends his historic run in Golden State after 13 years. This is a multi-team sign and trade. It'll also send Mavericks guard Josh Green to Charlotte. But Thompson had 4-year offers for more money at other places, but taking less money was offset by the chance to win a 5th championship with the Mavs.
I am a huge Klay Thompson fan. This saddens me a little bit that this ended the way it did. I don't really know what he's got left in the tank because so much of his game is predicated on his ability to shoot. And when he's hot, he can be white hot.
Yep.
I mean, there are very few people that get on a roll the way Klay Thompson does. I wonder if Golden State's going to look back and go, ooh, maybe we should have. I have not thought for weeks that Klay Thompson was staying there. There was absolutely nothing going on between those front offices.
And I think he'll have a chip on his shoulder, most likely.
Oh, I think he will too.
Because the Warriors no longer wanted him.
I'm a big Klay Thompson fan.
Yeah, but none of that stuff ends good, though, guys. I mean, you know, like unless you are a champion and you stay with the team for your whole career, like none of it ends good. So, just like Peyton had to leave Indianapolis and go to Denver, like, you know, and then Brady, he leaves New England where he, you know, made his name, and he goes and he wins another Super Bowl. It's just like in today's sports, it never ends like you want it to a lot of times unless you're able to be fortunate enough to stay on a team for your whole career and win a championship.
I'll say this. I just think it's sad.
Yeah.
You know, I doubt this is a great day.
Well, 13 years. I mean.
Yeah, I doubt this is a great day, though, for a particular shooting guard at Golden State.
Steph Curry.
Right. Yeah, I doubt he's thrilled about the way this turned out.
Oh, no, it can't be. Also in the NBA, the Celtics majority ownership group is planning to make the franchise available for sale, which is interesting right after an NBA title.
Wow, no kidding.
Don't know how to pronounce these two names, Wyke Grusbeck and Steve Pagluka.
I have no idea.
Led a group that purchased the team back in 2002 for $360 million. Since then, its valuation has skyrocketed, and the Suns, the Bucks, and the Mavericks have all recently sold as well for upwards of $4 billion. So that'll be interesting for the Celtics. It's just weird timing to me.
You know, I remember when they blew out Donald Sterling, and the guy that took over there paid about $2 billion, and everybody was just stunned because that had broken through a barrier that was just insane.
Kelly, did you watch the Ally 400?
Turned it over there for a second, but no, I did not watch it.
Why not?
I just didn't, man. I didn't watch it. I told y'all I'm an open wheel guy. I'm not a huge stock car guy.
Did you watch, was it Saturday, the open wheel, or was it the truck?
I think it was the truck.
Truck? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, either way, it's kind of a ridiculous day. It was hot, rain, then it rained, and so it was muggy, so they delayed it. The race leaders kept falling out of contention with each restart, 31 extra laps, 15 total cautions. Joey Logano ends up winning it, 5 overtimes. I didn't even really know. Kelly, I guess you knew overtime was a thing.
I didn't know that either.
5 overtimes, so yesterday, 9 race leaders, 20 lead changes. So I went the first year of the Ally 400 in Nashville. Never been to a race. That was a pretty cool scene.
How many people do they get in that racetrack? Do we know?
That's a good question. I don't think it's definitely less than the majority of the other tracks, just because they don't have as much seating. But that is a good question. Anyway, that's what I got.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
I thought Kelly was going to have more info on the
Sorry, man. I'm sorry. I did not. I don't know. I've never been able to get into NASCAR. Never been able to get into it, man. I'll try. I'll do it from now on for you, Billy.
Kelly's open wheel guy. But, it's kind of crazy how much it has grown, though. I mean, Nashville in the South has always been a big NASCAR fan base area. They just haven't gotten a race in town. So
right, NASCAR was busy taking their show to places that don't care,
Well, the complaint was that Talladega was too close for a while. That if you're a race fan in Nashville, you go to Talladega every year and you just do it that way. But I mean, there's plenty of them here. I didn't know that NASCAR would ever come to Nashville, but it is.
It's here.
You just wonder about the fairgrounds now. Do they ever find a way to get a track, renovate something over there?
Boy, that one's been debated for a long time. That almost has the same kind of debate stuff that Greer Stadium did for years.
Well, because it's been abandoned, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying back before we built the new baseball stadium. Gosh, that had been debated from the first day I ever did a sports talk show. And that's going back.
But they used to race at the fairgrounds, though, right? Correct.
Right.
How big was that, George? Billy?
I want to say 18,000 was
Okay.
capacity.
Okay.
And so anyway,
I got you.
No, I mean it was packed. I'm trying to find what that capacity was, but it was a packed house, Kelly. And even after the rain, they ended up coming right back. I don't think they had to leave the facility, but ended up being a packed house.
I remember being in Indianapolis one time, and we had to go through that. Man, we stayed there till 7 o'clock that night. It was crazy. It would rain, and they'd have to dry the track, and then it rained again. And oh my gosh, I'm staying there all day, but I stayed there.
Yeah, they're like SEC football fans. They don't leave, no matter whether it's rain, sleet, or hail.
Wow.
That's right.
It was very prophetic. Okay, so let's just go ahead and do this. We will go to the break, and then we'll explain what we're up to shortly. You're listening to The George Plaster Show on 95.9 FM.
It was the most horrible experience that any mother could ever go through. I knew that I needed to get help. My friend, she immediately said, "You need to call Bart Durham." And you guys were there within an hour. You guys are like family for us.
Yeah, sure is nice to connect with the people that you're doing your best to help.
Year number 2 of the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night was awesome. And the reason is really simple. I chose Strike and Spare, and they were amazing. They have great food, great bowling, and a staff that is truly ready to go the extra mile to help you. They have 5 family fun centers in the area to choose from, and for more info, go to strikeandspare.com or call them at 615-824-5688. Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonleyTimmons.com. Commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonleyTimmons.com.
We're back. Before we do anything else, and I think under anything else, we may be going to Louisville in just a couple of minutes. I want to say hello to Richard Pearl, new sponsor on the show, Richard Pearl with Keller Williams. Richard, how are you today?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. Tell me what's the housing market like right now, and in particular, up in the Murfreesboro area where you are.
Well, it's pretty strong. You got, we're average 4.25 on the average home price. That average price sells a little bit quicker than your higher price homes, just like everything else. It's not crazy like it was a few years ago. Interest rates have calmed down a little bit, so people are out there starting to buy again. Thank goodness.
So inventory-wise, pretty decent?
Probably about 60 day, 30, 60 day. I'm sorry, I hadn't looked at the numbers yet this month, so I'm not quite sure what it is right now, but it's about 60 day, 30 to 60 days.
So if a person wants to reach you and do a little bit of real estate kind of stuff, how do they reach you? Tell them some of the particulars.
You can call me directly on my phone at 615-268-7996, or you can reach us at the office at 615-895-8000.
Richard Pearl is with Keller Williams. Richard, I appreciate it. We'll be doing this on a daily basis and look forward to talking to you a little bit.
All right, and I'll put an alarm on my phone so I don't forget.
Listen, I got to laugh when you said that. Poor Jeff Him Friday totally forgot to come on the show. I did it to a friend of mine whose show I was going on a couple of weeks ago. So you will never hear anything from me because I think it comes under do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'll do my best not to screw up like that again.
No problem. Listen, you take care.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Kelly, I know you know him well, don't you?
I do, yeah, and I certainly appreciate Richard sponsoring the show. He's a good person, man. Good guy. He does a good business up here in Murfreesboro, man. Murfreesboro's kind of insulated from the rest of the country. I mean, it's still fast and furious up here. People building, there's inventory, people buying houses. So I hope it keeps up. I know other places in the country are kind of down, but not Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, there aren't any houses going up out there, are there, Kelly?
Golly, I can't even explain it to you guys, man.
Everything is just so new in Murfreesboro.
Crazy.
I mean, everything
It's
just
crazy.
looks
It's
brand
nice.
new.
There's a lot of folks here. When I came back in 1991 to start college, there wasn't that many people. But now, if you get caught in traffic in town, it'll take you 45 minutes to get from the south side to the north side. It's crazy.
We've got confirmation, Kelly. 38,000 according to
38,000.
Is
I
the
like
super speedway in Gladeville.
Yep.
Municipal. I almost said municipal auditorium. The fairgrounds, I can't swear to this, I think was like 18.5.
Okay. 38's pretty good.
In college, I actually covered a NASCAR race. And as most of you know, back then, I knew nothing.
I cannot see you doing that.
I absolutely knew nothing. And so there were a lot of these kind of questions. How's your car running? It's great. Thanks for asking.
You got any AC?
Oh, that's funny. I would have loved to have heard that.
Oh my God. And I would just listen. try to listen to the more intelligent questions. It didn't work.
That would have been priceless. I would have loved it.
So if we pull this off, and it appears it's questionable right now, C.L. Brown is a sports columnist with the Louisville Courier Journal, and we're going to try to get him on here in a minute. This has not been as easy as I hoped it would be. He wrote an article basically talking about how NIL and all the stuff going on the college level was going to seep down to our U.S. Olympic teams and was not going to be helpful at all. And I'm hoping we're able to get him on here in a minute, because if we are, I'll let him kind of explain where he's going with that.
Yeah, still waiting. So
time only has been called.
Yes.
So I'm obviously Mark McGee's going to join us, by the way, at 5:00, and we'll get into all the Predator stuff, because it is pretty significant stuff when you consider that Barry Trotz was sitting there saying we've got to get a goal scorer, to get two who very recently have had 40 goal seasons is pretty shocking, even to me. As confident as I am about Barry's abilities, that's pretty shocking to me.
That's crazy, man. When I was reading those articles, man, I'm kind of shocked as well, George. But you said you trust him, and I believe it. You know him better than me. I just know him from outside. You know him personally, but like, he's going about it in the right way, and he is making the decisions. And that was the great thing. I tell people all the time, that was a great thing about my coach, my college coach, Coach Donnelly. The guy was not scared to make decisions, and if it was a good or bad decision, he made the decision. And that seems like what Barry Trotz is doing, man. He's not scared to make those tough calls, and he's going about it. And I just think that at some point you're going to get back to the Stanley Cup Finals, and I think Nashville's going to win it. I really do, with this guy in charge.
I've never really asked him this, Kelly, but this is what I believe. When he left Nashville, if you remember, he won a Stanley Cup with the Washington Capitals.
Right.
And they treated him like crap. It was a very cheap organization. And what they offered him, he just said, no, I've brought you a Stanley Cup. And I've got a feeling, although I don't know this for sure, that right around then he started to mentally transition to, I might be a GM at some point. And I think he made the decision that if he ever did that here's the way he was going to do it. And when I say here's the way he's going to do it, it was going to be really aggressive.
I agree with you, George. I think that it's just like a player, though, or just like when you're a coach and you go to places. I mean, you always pick up things that you like about the organization and things that you don't like about the organization. And when when you've got a goal to be a general manager or a guy that runs a team, the personnel director, you understand through all your experiences in your life, hey, I like the way they did this. I didn't like the way they did this. And it seems like, he went to Washington Capitals for a reason. And like you said, they're an organization that don't want to pay very well, but he was able to overcome that and win a Stanley Cup. And then, they tried to lowball him, and he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And so when he gets his opportunity, as you're seeing right now, he knows how not to do it, how he doesn't want to do it. And I just, man, last year I thought he did a really good job in free agency. We all, we didn't, I asked you guys this, and I asked Gee, like, do y'all think that they would? I think y'all would have given y'all's right arm to be in the position that they were in last year. They had that huge winning streak that they had, and nobody thought this team was a playoff team. And then they got rolling, and now now you're a playoff team. Now you got to get rid of some guys, which they did, and now you got to add some dudes, and they add some really good guys. As you see, Stamkos right there. I mean, he's a scorer. So you brought another guy that can get you goals. It's unbelievable, kind of what he's doing in his first 2 years, George.
I think he had the advantage. Billy, if you're trying to tell me something, go ahead.
No, I was just going to add
Okay.
on to what Kelly
Go
said.
ahead.
We had talked about Preds need to add a scorer. Well, they added two. And
Two.
Two
Jonathan,
huge ones.
and these aren't just, it's not like Stamkos is your elite player. I mean, Marchessault's an elite player too, right? I mean, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, he probably has not had quite as big a name as Stamkos. But, I mean, look at his numbers.
Yeah.
In that Vegas thing, what do you have, like 41 goals?
Yeah, 42 last year.
42.
He was a part of that original core in Vegas.
So they go from a team that basically was very Philip Forsberg reliant to being able to spread it out a little bit. Now, these are older guys, and they've taken a chance. The reason they got Stamkos was they were willing to go 4 years. And Kelly, here's what I think has gone on. Tampa would only go 3, and so it sort of ended there. And I think Barry Trotz said, well, if the cost of doing business to get this kind of an elite score is giving him a 4th year, yes, it's a gamble, and it's a gamble he decided he was willing to take. Now, as far as his GM role, he had an advantage going in that some of the players in that locker room had played for him. And my suspicion is that some of those people in that locker room who he spoke to may not have been all that positive about John Hines and may have been even less positive about Matt Duchene. And when he got rid of Matt Duchene, that's when I realized for sure Barry Trotz has got the pulse of what's really going on with this team. And that, I think that was badly needed. I think when he walked in here, I wondered, what does he really know about this group? Because it's been a while since he'd been here. But he had 3 or 4 players who were still on that roster, and I think they shot him straight. And I think when he kept getting the same answer, both on Hines and in particular on Duchene, who was a locker room cancer, I think he said, out. Not going to put up with it.
Don't you think that's what a leader has to do? You have to. You can't. You can't shut your eyes and hope all that stuff goes away. You gotta face that stuff, and especially when you're coming into a new organization and you didn't make the playoffs the year before. Well, there's something going on. So, as a leader, you have to be willing to make decisions, but you also have to be willing to listen to people that have been in the organization and some of the players. Like that's what a lot of coaches don't want to do. They don't want to get the players involved in anything. And the players, I've always told y'all this. I say it's like every week. Players know exactly players know exactly what's going on. So if you're the leader of that organization and you don't talk to the players, you're not going to be very successful, in my opinion. And that's what he did. He went in, he talked to some of the guys that had been there, some of the captains, and they shot him straight. And then, hey, he's not scared to make a decision about it. He did it, and he went on. And then, hey, better days ahead.
Now, one thing I've learned, if a general manager is in his job long enough, he's going to make some bad trades.
Absolutely.
He's going to do some things that won't end up working out. And you have to remember that if you're in that business long enough, you're going to screw some of them up. But the early returns on Barry Trotz is that this guy is not okay with limping in as the 8th and final playoff spot every year, which has been kind of a Predator habit over the years. And I think when he said it when he got here, apparently he meant it, that he wants to rise them above that.
Oh, yeah. And I think that if you're in this league long enough, George, you're going to get fired. I mean, that's just the ball face of the truth of the whole thing. You're going to get fired. I can remember me getting let go several times, man. It's just part of the game. It's just sometimes your ability does not fit what they're trying to do, and you have to pick up your bags and move and be willing to move. And I think it's cool, though, that if you're a general manager, you're going to say, hey, I've got my opportunity. I'm going to do it my way. I know how it's been done right. I know how it's been done wrong. I'm going to do it my way. And if that doesn't work, it's all on me. And, I can sleep good at night knowing that I did what I thought was right for the team, what I thought was right for the organization. If it wasn't good enough, then, hey, they fired me. But at least I did it my way, and I thought that was right for the organization.
Just got word we'll be able to have CL on next segment.
Okay, good. Then we'll go to Louisville and do that. 5 o'clock, Mark McGee will join us. And one of the things I'll ask him right off the bat is, okay, this is really exciting. To what level does this move the Predators? We'll find out his answers at 5 o'clock. We'll go to the break and tell you that you're listening to 95.9 FM. This is the George Plaster Show.
As you might be able to tell, my buddy Stan Harrison, he's an Alabama Crimson Tide fan, but he's actually here to talk about Apple Collision Centers.
Hello, Middle Tennessee. I'm Stan Harrison, CEO of Apple Collision Centers, and we understand the stress it causes in having an automobile accident. We can help you ease the stress of the auto body repair process at our 3 locations. We're conveniently located in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. We've got rental cars available, we have PDR technicians available, and we have windshield technicians available. Please stop by one of our places and see us if you need our services.
And by the way, when you come in his office, this just in, he's a sports fan.
You were in a crash.
Yeah.
Your kids were in the car with you.
We're very lucky to even be telling this story to you. Nikki treated us like family. And she was very caring and loving, and I'm just so grateful for that. She was somebody I could trust, and being a veteran, that's so important to me. My kids are going to have a better life now because I don't have to worry about those expenses that we were out. Your family has really created a legacy of trust, and I would recommend you to anyone.
Nashville Sounds Baseball is back in Hit City for the 2024 season. Spend your nights and weekends at the ballpark with weekly giveaways, fireworks shows, throwback deals, live music, and more. Top talent will take the field at First Horizon Park against the AAA Minnesota Twins, Baltimore Orioles, Atlanta Braves, St. Louis Cardinals, Cincinnati Reds, and more. Tickets start at just $10 and are available now at NashvilleSounds.com. We will see you in Hit City.
For over 35 years, Wilson Bank & Trust has been committed to providing customized banking solutions to help individuals, families, and businesses in Tennessee achieve their goals. As your full-service community bank, we are proud to offer loans with competitive rates, local decision-making, and fast, friendly service from our experienced lenders. No matter where you are on your financial journey, Wilson Bank & Trust is ready to help you take the next step. Visit your nearest Wilson Bank & Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Over the years, more men have started to seek help for hormone deficiencies and imbalances, and Dr. Jeffrey Lodge and wife Daphne, along with their experienced staff, give men the treatment required to improve their quality of life, improve your immune system, energy level, cognitive function, and more. There's no better time to achieve a healthy lifestyle. What are you waiting for? Give Cool Springs MD a call today for an appointment at 615-486-3458 or visit the website coolspringsmd.com.
If you're having plumbing issues, there's only one guy to call. That's Adam Whitehead. As a third-generation plumber, Adam was born and raised right here in Bellevue. Customers praise his professionalism, efficiency, and personability. Adam is known for his prompt response to emergencies and for providing high-quality repairs at reasonable prices. His expertise extends to various plumbing issues, including sink leaks, dishwasher installations, and outdoor water issues. Call him at 615-485-1534. That's 615-485-1534.
Let the sportsbrokers.com show you how to win consistently. Call now and get today's underdog winner outright. 800-220-6262. Absolutely free. Kevin Todd is the nation's #1 sports handicapper. He's the professional the professionals turn to. It's yours absolutely free at 800-220-6262. That's 800-220-6262. Kevin Todd turns outcomes into incomes. Call now. 800-220-6262.
Of the U.S. Olympic trials to determine who will make the various teams. Interesting article that came out recently. C.L. Brown is a sports columnist with the Louisville Courier Journal, and he wrote a very interesting one about where the landscape is on the college level right now with NIL and all that kind of stuff, and what that's going to do positively or negatively when it comes to our Olympic teams. And CL joins us by phone. CL, thanks for being with us. Tell Mr. Bozich I said hello.
Will do. I appreciate you having me.
So I'm going to play dumb, which I'm pretty good at, and people will say I come by this easy. Kind of tell people what the premise of the article was that you put together.
Well, after I explain this, they might be calling this segment Dumb and Dumber, because what I wrote, it may come to fruition where there's a doomsday here. I don't think it will come to that totally, but, we could start seeing the effects of the way college sports are moving, having a serious effect on our Olympic Team USA, different events, different sporting events in the Olympics. So basically, we're the only major country, when you think about it, that the federal government isn't separately funding our best athletes to prepare for the Olympics and everything. It's basically like the colleges are the farm system, if you will, for various Olympic sports, be it the track and field events or something like water polo, other kind of sports that aren't football and basketball, basically at our college institutions. And so because of the move that's really being made towards super leagues, where they're even going to be, 65 to 80 colleges break away from the NCAA because of college football played at the highest level. The funding for some of these non-revenue sports on campuses is going to start to slip. We could have sports cut because of the move towards, if this NCAA house settlement goes through, to move towards paying players directly from the university to the athletes. So it's a scenario that, it will take some time for all of this to happen, but we're looking at Stanford, right after COVID, they played 36 sports. They were going to cut 11 of them. And that was and this is before having to try and pay some of those players and everything like that, but just kind of because of the money they were losing from COVID. Now they ended up not having to do it because there was kind of a grassroots effort from some of their donors. And if you know about Stanford's billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar endowments, they're not lacking money and resources there. So a lot of their sports became self-funded because certain donors didn't want to see, the men's volleyball teams of their program go defunct. So they ended up endowing a lot of the scholarships. And I think as we move forward, you might see that kind of spread towards a lot of other schools.
So the problem seems to be NIL is here, and it looks like it's here to stay. In your mind, what is the real answer to the problem?
I hate to say it this way, but the federal government getting involved in subsidizing Team USA when it comes to the Olympics, because I think it's going to fall off at some of the colleges. They're just not going to care as much anymore, or put as many resources and put as much money into funding some of these sports that don't make any money for them. And it's not as much NIL as it is. They're going to have to start paying athletes up to, what was it, 21 million if the House settlement is finalized and it goes through.
Yep.
But the question with that, though, is, we're seeing these other lawsuits. One is from, what was it, Houston Christian University, that is basically saying that the smaller schools didn't get enough input in this settlement, and that could change things. So the House might, it might not stand. And also, there's another case. Now I'm forgetting. There's so many cases against the NCAA. I'm forgetting which one. I think it's Carter versus the NCAA. But it's basically, it could wreck that number of 21 million being the amount that colleges can pay athletes. If that is broken, or if that settlement, if it doesn't go all the way through and they have to renegotiate that, the athletes could get an even bigger chunk of that, revenue percentage. So it could go up from 21 million to who knows what, which I think 21 million is too small, to be honest, of a pie when we're talking about the multi-billion dollar, broadcast deals. We've seen the Big Ten sign, the SEC sign, the college football playoff in and of itself is I think that was for $6 or $7 billion, over a few years with the expanded playoffs. So we're seeing all these billions and B's thrown around, and the college athlete, which is at the heart of this, is still not going to see a lot of that money. So if they end up, basically demanding more money, then for the sports that aren't football, men's basketball, I think women's basketball, with the wave of interest, that we've seen here lately, and in the WNBA, I think that's a sport that's going to elevate too. So you're going to have to, as a college, you're going to have to be paying for those programs, and who knows what's going to be left for the others.
Kelly, may only have time for one question for CL Brown. Make it a good one.
So, yeah, I was just going to ask you, it kind of pains me for the Pac-12 to be null and void. It's gone. And Louisville is in the ACC, and the ACC is having problems. It seems like this conference realignment stuff is not over. Is the ACC and the Big 12, I mean, I don't know when it's going to happen, but are they going to go out as well? And it's just going to be like, these two big conferences, or how do you think this is going to shape out?
Well, I think the Big 12 at this point has more stability than the ACC, because as far as I know, there aren't any schools looking to leave the Big 12 right now. They seem to be set, and they're not as unhappy with their deal as ACC members are. And, I know Florida State is probably running point in their disgruntled state right now in the ACC, but Clemson is right up there with them. North Carolina is not far behind. University of Miami is right there too. So the thing that I hate about it too, as you mentioned with the Pac-12, I just don't like stuff that doesn't make sense. Stanford and Cal being in the ACC does not make any sense. USC and UCLA being in the Big Ten doesn't make sense. Like what are we really doing?
Amen.
But I am kind of glad. Like, let's lose this facade. They were trying to hold on to amateurism for so long when we left that a long time ago. So, let's treat it like professional sports and go ahead and divide up this pie and make it equitable for the athletes participating, as well as the coaches and everybody else who's getting a fair share, fair market value of what they're worth, and let's move forward from there.
CL, I'm sorry we had so much trouble getting you and getting all the details of this put together, but I really appreciate your taking the time to come on. And when you do see Rick Bozich, tell him the White Sox, while they suck, are getting better.
I will make sure to relay that. He's ride or die with those White Sox.
Oh, I know he is. I know he. These are tough times for him. Thank you so much for coming on.
I appreciate you. No problem. Take care.
CL Brown joining us from the Louisville Courier Journal. And Kelly, it's one of the byproducts that's not real pretty.
No, you don't think about that, man. That was a really interesting article reading it. You just don't think about all the other sports because everybody is so enamored with big-time college football and big-time college basketball, now women's basketball. And you've seen baseball, the popularity of it come around this year or the last couple of years, softball. But you don't think about men's volleyball. You don't think about swimming and things like that. And normally, these entities, these colleges, were bringing in money by their big football and they were able to disperse that money throughout. And now if the football side of it or the basketball side says, hey, we don't want to share that stuff anymore, which is where it's coming to, what do all these sports do? And he's absolutely right. Although I don't like it, but the government made that ruling in Congress about you have to pay these players now. They're using their name, image, and likeness, so you have to pay them. But, when you get government involved, you know how that works out sometimes. But I think that's the only way that you go if you're going to keep these sports. Like, do they go to club sports and then they get, money from the government to keep them going? Because that is what funds our Olympics. That's where you get all these athletes is from colleges.
After the break, we'll have Stat of the Day. Then Mark McGee will join us, and we will ask the question, are the moves that Barry Trotz made today, and they are big, do they now have the Preds saying we're a Stanley Cup contender? You're listening to The George Plaster Show on 95.9 FM.
Good afternoon. T-Dot still on the scene of that fatal crash north of town. It's Vietnam vets going eastbound right at Conference Drive. They've been rerouting traffic off in that area, and boy, did it really have an effect on this traffic here in Madison. Trying to get north on 65, still just crawling up past OHB all the way up to you get to Vietnam vets. Again, what a mess north of town on the scene of that serious crash. Prince's Hot Chicken has new items on the menu. Check them out. princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Your brain is an amazing thing, but as you get older, it naturally begins to change, causing a lack of sharpness or even trouble with recall. Thankfully, the breakthrough in Prevagen helps your brain and actually improves memory. The secret is an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish. Based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired, Prevagen has been shown to improve memory. A Pharmacy Times national survey of pharmacists rated Prevagen the #1 pharmacist-recommended memory support brand for the 5th year in a row. You can find it in the vitamin aisle in stores everywhere without a prescription. Help your memory. Try Prevagen today. Prevagen. Healthier brain, better life. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Buyandtow.com. Get cash for junk cars. Do you have a vehicle that's become a problem? You can get cash in your hand today and your vehicle hauled away. They'll buy your vehicle no matter the condition, in your driveway, at your mechanic shop, or even on the side of the road. You can call them at 615-480-6473 or visit buyandtow.com. Get cash in your hand today and your vehicle hauled away. 615-480-6473, buyandtow.com. That's buyandtow.com.
Hey, if you're looking for a place to catch all the hockey and hoops action this spring, look no further than the Alley Pub in Bellevue. And now here's Samantha to tell you about one of their great weekly specials.
Attention service industry. We want to say cheers to you at the Alley Pub, located at 7040 Highway 70 South in Bellevue. Every Wednesday night, bring a copy of your ABC card or pay stub to receive 20% off of your tab. Only at the Alley Pub, Bellevue's best sports bar and grill.
It's JB and the General.
coach of the Vanderbilt baseball team, Tim Corbin.
You just got to see guys leave after 4 or 5 years that have thrust everything into your program. Yeah, it's difficult. I think it's why our program is a little bit different. It's why it's unique. It's why it's special. There's a family component to it that's very real that not everyone else has.
Weekdays 9 to 11, live on WNSR.
It's time for Stat of the Day, brought to you by Adam Whitehead Plumbing here in Nashville. If you ever have issues with your water heaters, bathrooms, kitchen sinks, water or sewer lines, give Adam a call, 615-485-1534. All right, here's what we got today. We're going baseball. How about Wyatt Langford last night? Hit for the cycle against the Orioles. In 2018, a player hit for the cycle twice in a season against the same team. Name that player and the team if you want.
Kelly, I'm going to admit up front that I heard this last night on the national radio broadcast.
Do you remember it? Do you remember the answer?
Yes.
Well, go. Hey, it's all about, dude. Let's go. Spit it out.
It's Christian Yelich with the Milwaukee Brew Crew.
Bingo.
Yes.
There you go.
Against Cincinnati, probably, most likely, a Great American Small Park.
Yes.
Which is a haven.
I love that name.
By the way, with the weather as warm as it is, start looking at some overs.
Yeah.
We have had this, massive downtrend in runs scored. But now, all of a sudden, as the weather gets really warm around the country, balls are starting to fly.
Over.
Yep.
2-2 pitch, gone. Speaking of which, give the Jason Tatum news real quick.
Yeah, Jason Tatum will remain a Boston Celtic. Not sure anyone's surprised about that. He has agreed to a 5-year, $314 million deal.
$62.8 million a year, if my math is correct. That is insanity.
Also, happy Bobby Bonilla Day.
Oh, God. How much did he get today?
1.19 million?
Something like that. Good for him. Martin McGee's going to join us. And those of you who are Predator fans, be listening. This is going to be really interesting.
ABC News, I'm Daria Albinger. The Supreme Court says presidents have some but not total immunity from prosecution for what they do while they are in office.
This is in no short sense, a big win for Donald Trump. It means delay. We already knew that a trial on these charges would be unlikely before the presidential election. Now it's all but impossible based on today's decision.
ABC's Devin Dwyer, former Trump advisor Steve Bannon, reported to a federal prison today near Danbury, Connecticut. It's where he's going to serve his 4-month sentence for contempt of Congress. A Massachusetts judge declares a mistrial in the case of Karen Reed. She was accused of hitting her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, with her SUV, then leaving him to die during a snowstorm. In 2022, the defense says O'Keefe was actually killed in a fight with a fellow officer. Beryl, still a Category 4 hurricane. It's over the West Indies with 150-mile-per-hour wind. Stocks close higher, the NASDAQ at a record. This is ABC News.
Fireworks and celebrate Independence Day with the Omaha Steaks 4th of July sale. Save 50% off site-wide and fire up the perfect backyard cookout with tender steaks, juicy burgers, deli-style franks, and more family favorites. Shop today at omahasteaks.com and score an extra $30 off when you use promo code QUALITY at checkout. Plus, every purchase is backed by their unconditional money-back guarantee. Hurry, because this offer won't last long. That's omahasteaks.com, promo code QUALITY at checkout.
Omaha Steaks, America's original butcher.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
Stirring fiber, exercising, frequent trips to the store for more laxatives and fiber. Sounds like your constipation with belly pain is a lot to manage, but if your symptoms that keep coming back are signs of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C, ask your doctor how Linzess can help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio. From the Nashville Sports Radio Media Complex. Welcome back to the George Plaster Show. Call George now at 615-844-5600 and online at WNSR.com. And now, George Plaster.
Featuring Tennessee Sports Hall of Famer Watson Brown, Tennessee Sports Hall of Famer Kelly Holcomb, along with Young Gun Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
First, Billy, tell people what the Predators did today in case they're just joining us.
Yeah, the Predators have signed a wave of players today, according to Pierre Lebrun. Steven Stamkos, 4 years, $8 million per year. Jonathan Marchessault, who was in Vegas, of course, 5 years, $5.5 per year. And Brady Shea from Carolina, 7 years, $7 million per year. And also goalie Scott Wedgwood, 2 years, $3 million.
Okay. Going back to when the Preds made the run to the Stanley Cup final in 2017, there was a song that I really got into, and the people sitting up in 304 with me thought it was hilarious when they would play this song and I'd start singing it. And I feel ready to sing it again. Let's hear it.
Glorious, no, I won't give in till I'm victorious, and I will defend. Glorious, no, I won't give in till I'm victorious, and I will defend.
May and June when teams are in playoff hunts, if you know what I mean. My buddy Mark McGee, who knows as much about the Predators as anybody, joins us. Gee, you covered Barry Trotz when he first got here, much as I did. When he came back and said, I'm here to bring this city a Stanley Cup, more and more it feels like he really meant it.
This is he has done the best he can today to do that. It's a lot of people are calling it a historic day of free agent signing in the NHL. I mean, you know, you get Steven Stamkos, which Elliot Friedman, the hockey expert, had been calling that one for a while. A lot of us thought that could possibly happen when they signed Jake Gunsel today at Tampa Bay. 7 years, 60-something million. It pretty much says, Stamkos, you're not coming back. So that was a pretty quick turnaround for him to come to the Predators for 4 years, $8 million, which is a pretty good price for him, I think. That's not a bad deal at all for the Predators from that standpoint. So 16 years in Tampa Bay, 2 Stanley Cups. Barry wanted to bring in some veterans that knew how to win, and he's done that today. So Marchessault, Conn Smythe winner last year. Vegas wins the Stanley Cup, and Brady Shea may be the only one where maybe I had to put a damper on it. Brady Shea may be the only one that maybe they overpaid defenseman. I don't know. The rest of them are pretty good deals, but Brady Shea I'm not so sure about as far as how much they're paying him.
Guy, let me ask practically, how does this stuff work where they say free agency begins today and all of a sudden, bang, bang, bang? Did it really all start this morning?
Oh, I doubt it.
Well, I doubt it too.
I mean, well, you've heard Stamkos' name talked about for a couple of weeks now in Nashville. There was no surprise there at all from that standpoint, and that was the one I'm sure has been some preparation. I don't know. Stamkos last time he was in the situation, he signed like 2 days. After free agency began, 2 days before. It was really around that time. So maybe people thought he was going to hang out and wait again. But when they signed Gunsel today, that was definitely the death knell for him. I don't know he was waiting for that or whatever, but that free agent signing by Tampa Bay pretty much let Stamkos know he was not coming back, and how many years he'd been in Tampa. A lot of people afraid he might go to Detroit because he lives in Toronto, which is only 4 hours away from Detroit. So that was one of the teams that people were thinking maybe he might go to. So I'm glad he went up in Nashville.
I'm guessing, and I kind of want your opinion on this, that Barry was out to get a scorer. Do you think the second in this case just sort of dropped in his lap and he said, what the hell, let's do it?
You talking about what now? Marchessault?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Marchessault coming off a career high 42 goals last year. You got 2 40-goal scorers that you signed today. I think in the history of the franchise, you had like 3 40-goal scorers, and so that's a pretty good deal, pretty good setup. This team was looking for a more powerful offense. They've got it now.
Okay, let me try to ask it a different way. When Barry Trotz put his head on the pillow last night, do you think he thought he was getting 2 40-goal scorers?
I'm hard to say. I mean, it's kind of like our old buddy C.M. Newton used to say that the best ADs carry around carry a list of top 10 coaches they'd like to talk to replace somebody. Knowing Barry, he probably had a list of 5 or 6 free agents he really wanted to go after and see how they would fit in the salary cap. And I wouldn't be surprised if Marchessault was one of them.
So let me make sure I've got one piece of this right. Just logistically, are they done at this point? Is this all the money they had?
They're pretty much shy it all, I think, because they also signed Alexander Courier back for $11 million for over 3 years, and of course they got the Saros contract, which is pretty hefty. So, I would say, and Wedgwood was like a couple million, I believe, or whatever. So, I would say they're pretty much done. They had 26.9 going into today.
Okay, I'm going to ask this because we're all excited who care about this. Me as a season ticket holder and a few other things involved with this. Is this now a Stanley Cup contender?
Yes. No doubt they're a Stanley Cup contender. And I think what Barry's doing is this. We all know Barry's a great hockey coach, great hockey person. I think what he's doing, he's got a really good stable of young prospects all the way down to Milwaukee. And so he's got veteran players like O'Reilly and Yossi and those guys up there right now, Nyquist. And so not Nyquist, but O'Reilly and Yossi. And so he's adding now 3 more veteran players. Shea's the youngest of those 3. He's 30. I think Stamkos is 34, Marchessault is 33. So Barry once said he wanted to get younger and faster. Well, he is eventually going to do that, but he's going to let these guys help him show this team how to win and become a winning team, show these young guys how to win. And then these guys, when they're in the downhill of their career, these young guys will be ready to make the move. It's a multi-level thing, but I think this year he's looking to go all the way with this team, and the benefits will be seen even after this. He's built a foundation here that's going to be around for a while.
Okay, I may come back with a few things in a minute or two, but Kelly Holcomb is alongside as well. Kelly, what do you got for Gee?
So, we talked all year, and it's funny how we can sit up here and speculate, but we have absolutely no clue. Barry Trotz put it out there. Nobody has a clue what goes on behind closed doors, but we talked so much about UC Soros and is he on the trading block, and everybody thought he was. Well, he gets a new contract, and now they bring the Wedgwood guy in. So what does that mean for the young goalie Askarov in Milwaukee? I mean, what does that lead him?
Yeah, well, of course, that means Kevin Lankinen's gone now with Wedgwood coming in from Dallas. But with Askarov supposedly was being shopped at the draft in Las Vegas over this past few days, and looking for a top pick in exchange for him, and that didn't come about. But he is definitely now it's instead of Saros is the goaltender on the trade block, it's Askarov, and I know that Barry couldn't have. I mean, Barry had to know that if he signed Saros to a long-term deal, that Askarov was going to be, and his agent were going to be just apoplectic. And so I'm sure that they're going to, Askarov's going to be asking for a trade, if nothing else. I mean, he's a number one draft pick. He came over here from Russia early to get over here and learn how to play the game in the United States. So he's done what he's supposed to do. And but I think his little downfall in the playoffs really kind of hurt his market value a little bit. I think it made the Predators think maybe he's not quite as ready as we thought he was, and so I think that we're going to have some bad games in the playoffs. It's not the great time to do that. I think they pulled him twice during the playoffs, and so I think that probably was a red flag that they weren't expecting to see, but. Yeah, he'll be traded, I'm sure, somewhere along the way. I won't be surprised at all. I don't know that he'll be back in Milwaukee again.
Well, I know that you said that you thought the Brady. How do you say Brady's last name? Brady Ski? Is it Ski?
It's Shea.
Brady Shea. Okay, Brady Shea. So he got, you thought he was overpaid, but what do you think about Soros getting this big deal? I mean, we've kind of been up and down on Soros. I think he gets paid, he got paid $61 million or something like that. I mean, are you still sold on that?
I'm not sold on how long the contract is. 8 years is an awfully long time for Soros. He's 29 years old, I think. And that's an awfully long contract for a goaltender, or actually for any player. And so I think that's the big problem there. But I mean, Shea, just people are looking at Shea's numbers and things and thinking, well, they did really well with Stamkos and Marchessault. So I mean, if they overpay Shea a little bit, it's okay. So they need another defenseman that's got some experience, and Shea can bring that in. He's not a bad player at all, but I just don't think that. I don't know if he was worth $7 million a year. And we look at the total was like $108 million for those three, for $108.5 million for those three. So total for their whole time as in their contracts. But so it was pretty good. But only $20 million in the salary cap. So they still had, but they got pretty much the rest of that salary cap. I think it's pretty much gone now as well. So they might have some built up, but not much.
Okay, so my last question, Guy, is I still don't understand this. I asked you the same thing last year. I don't understand this draft stuff, man. I don't get it. We've talked about all these free agents that they brought in, which we think that they're a Stanley Cup contender now. But like, what do you think about their? We still hadn't talked about their draft picks. What do you think about some of their draft picks that, they got last night? It looked like they got a couple of steals. They like the Teddy Stiga guy, and what about the Surin guy who was a first round pick?
Yeah, Igor Sorin, he's only 17 years old. He's a center from Russia, and he's nasty. He's a nasty player. He's an edgy, nasty player, but he also can shoot really well. And he's a great shot. But a lot of people are wondering. A lot of people felt like they got a B+, A- with that pick. But he's 17. He's a little bit away from making it to the NHL. And so you got to see what he's going to do. A lot of these guys, they're 4 or 5 years away, most of these guys. So, I mean, and right now, obviously, Barry's wanting to do something now. I mean, he got some good guys. Miguel Marquez is a strong player, offensive guy. And Hiroki Gashik is a definite NHL prospect. And a lot of people thought that Teddy Stiga, who they got in the second round, could have been a lot of people projected he would be a first-round pick. So that was a pretty good steal for them, too, in the second round. So they got some pretty good players. They got picked up a goaltender in the fourth round. And they've got 8 players coming out. And this was not a great draft. This is not going to go down as one of the best drafts ever. But I think the Predators, most of the analysts are giving the Predators anywhere from a B to B+, I think down to a C+ as far as their total. But most everybody's giving the Surin pick a B+, A- situation. So they did okay. But I mean, these are guys. It's going to be a while. There's the first 2 or 3 players, 4 players in the draft. Yeah, they immediately go to a team, and even that's risky.
Guy, let me do this. Will you stick around during the break and give me about 4 more minutes afterwards? I got a couple of things I want to bring up to you.
No problem.
Mark McGee will rejoin us. I'm going to get into, okay, what does this now mean for the Predators financially, ownership, all of the above, any of the above? That didn't make any sense. Let's just say that we're going to the break. You're listening to the George Plaster Show. Good Lord, what am I thinking? On 95.9 FM.
It was the most horrible experience that any mother could ever go through. I knew that I needed to get help. My friend, she immediately said, "You need to call Bart Durham." And you guys were there within an hour. You guys are like family for us.
Yeah, sure is nice to connect with the people that you're doing your best to help.
Year number 2 of the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night was awesome. And the reason is really simple. I chose Strike and Spare, and they were amazing. They have great food, great bowling, and a staff that is truly ready to go the extra mile to help you. They have 5 family fun centers in the area to choose from, and for more info, go to strikeandspare.com or call them at 615-824-5688. Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonleyTimmons.com. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonleyTimmons.com.
We'll get back to Mark McGee in just a moment, talking about what has been an historic day for the Nashville Predators, where they have gone from a can they get in as the 8th seed to a team that all of a sudden is going to have huge expectations. Billy, talk to me about Stamkos.
Yeah, we've got a comment from today on when he knew he might have to move on from the Lightning. He said, "When I didn't get approached to sign an extension last summer, that caught me by surprise. That was certainly probably the start of the writing on the wall," as Guy talked about. So he thought Tampa was going to try to re-sign him. Maybe you get a little chip on the shoulder there.
Let's bring Mark McGee back for a couple, 3 things that maybe nobody's talked about yet. Guy, it feels to me like Bill Haslam, who will take over, the former Tennessee governor, will take over fully in the next year as the owner of this team. It feels like he walked into a room and said to Barry Trotz, "You do whatever you need to do. I will write the check."
Well, I think Barry's from the very beginning's been doing that. I mean, look what he did. He let's go Matt Duchene, let's go Johansson, which were big moves from his part. He brought in guys like Rico Raleigh last year, and Nyquist, he's done what he wants to do pretty much. And somebody's giving him the green light on whether it was Haslam or Sean Henry or who. But I think Barry, he's won the Stanley Cup as a coach in Washington, and so I mean he knows what it's like to do it. Right now he's got this team set up to do this. It's a gamble still, though. I mean, it's not like a sure thing that they're going. But he's saying, "I'm ready to go all the way with this team to take a Stanley Cup home." But it's still a gamble. There's no guarantees for this at all. And so from a financial standpoint, they had the money, might as well use it. They used it wisely, for sure. They were definitely the winner, I would say, in free agency today. As far as they start rating the teams who won and lost in free agency today, I think that if the Predators aren't at the top, they're going to be in the top 2 or 3. I would say they'd be at the top of anybody's. I gotta say, there were so many names floating around. I forgot to mention Philip Forsberg when I was talking about the veteran guys who Stamkos and Marchessault will be joining along with Shea. So, hey, let's forget Philip Forsberg. But no, it's going to be a solid team. I mean, we're talking about getting really strengthening the lines and getting another center, getting another strong winger. Everything, and getting a good defenseman. Everything that he wanted to fill, he did.
Does there become now a different pressure on their front office from a ticket sales standpoint? Because this is to the top of the cap, and it's different than in the NFL, where you got enough TV money to float a battleship, where you don't have to sell one ticket to make it work. In the NHL, your TV revenues are minimal. They got a TV deal right now that nobody knows where the hell it's going with our friends at Bally Sports, and I'm sure Comcast will get in here for a cheap shot from me in a minute. But what I'm asking is, what does this now do as far as ticket sales and expectations, and this is what we got to have to fund this?
I say tomorrow, trying to get to the ticket office might be tough. Because I think a lot of people are going to be excited about this. Some people maybe were on the fence, or a lot of people who were in that group that said, "I'm so tired of them just limping into the first round and not winning the first round, and especially they lost to Vancouver this year, which Vancouver turned out to be a much better team than it looked like when the playoffs started. But I think a lot of people maybe who were on the sidelines and thinking, oh, what I want to do, because money's tight right now. Everybody's dealing with situations, but I'll say right now, a lot of people that maybe were thinking, I might go to a few games next year. I might give you a 20 game thing, whatever. They're going to go for. I think the season ticket prices are going. Season ticket challenge is going to be hard. It's going to be hard to find a season ticket.
Is this a 2-year window to try to win the cup?
Yes, I think so. I think he wants to do it this year, but I think he's got a couple years. Well, actually, he's got probably more than that, really, because like I said, this team is going to build in levels. I mean, these guys coming in, they're going to the effect they're going to have on this team, especially the younger players in the dressing room and on the ice, both at practice and at games, is going to be immeasurable. And so I think this. So Barry's really building a foundation, and then he's starting. It's a little different what he said. He wanted to do speed and young and speedy. Well, he's older and offensively more powerful than they have been, and that's good. And that fits in with Brunett's coaching style to a T. So it's going to be a great matchup there from that standpoint. So, but yeah, he's looking at this year, next year for really having a strong situation. I think he'd be really disappointed if they don't at least go challenge for the finals or go to the finals this year. I think he'll be disappointed they don't win it. But with what he's got here, this is a loaded team. It is a gamble. Everything's like this is a gamble. I mean, he went all in.
Oh, he certainly did. He put all the chips. He doubled down and tripled down and looked like he four-downed. Anyway, Guy, thank you so much on short notice for doing this, and I really appreciate it.
It was a busy afternoon. I was going what are we going to talk about?
Yeah. Well, I think you knew what we were going to talk about. Thanks, Guy.
I know. I was just joking. Yeah. Thank you now. All right,
Take care. Okay, I'm going to do a couple of things here. The first thing I'm going to do is open up the phones. And, yeah, am I excited? I'm not going to pull any punches. Heck yeah, I'm excited. I'm a day one, year one season ticket holder. And I've invested a lot of emotional capital over the years, over a quarter of a century, into this team. There have been some great moments. There have been some really tough moments. This feels like they're headed toward showing me some more of those great moments. So am I excited? Heck yeah, I am. I want to know about you all out there and your level of excitement about what went on today. So I'm going to open up the phones right now. 615-844-5600. Again, 615-844-5600. We will take those phone calls here in just a moment or two. Billy, any thoughts on your end?
Yeah, I was going to say it's also July. I don't want to pump the brakes for people, but, the season doesn't start, until October, but it's hard not to get excited right now. I mean, especially hearing Guy. I mean, Guy, he's saying this team's loaded. This team, they've got what they need. And, Kelly, I think they're a contender. Now, I'm not as much of a hockey expert as George, but you pick up a couple of 40-goal scorer, that feels pretty good.
Yeah, it's July, but you've got some guys that have been there. They've done it, and they've done it for a long time. And I know I'm belaboring the point with this, but I still don't understand the draft in the NHL. I get 17-year-old, the 18-year-olds. You're going to have time. But, does anybody even remember the guys that they got last year? I'm sure they do. But, this is, I don't know. It's just because when, in my profession, when I played, a first-round pick was probably going to play, I don't know. It's just it's odd to me, but I think that they've added a bunch of guys. They've gotten rid of some guys. They've kept their goaltender. They got another goaltender that is a capable backup, obviously. So I don't know. I don't see how you couldn't be excited because the guys that they brought in are commodities that have developed and have played really well in the league. So I'm like George. I think they've got a good future ahead.
Okay, 844-5600 is the number. We're going to take some of your phone calls. We'll start with Bob in Antioch. Bob, welcome in.
Good afternoon. One of the major reasons that I'm very excited is that they made all of these additions and they did not mortgage any of their future. They've still got all of those draft choices and they didn't give away any prospects. Their minor league system, I think I saw recently, is ranked like 6th or 7th. So, I mean, it seems like they're promising in a number of different areas.
Although, let me ask this question. Their farm system, I hear what you're saying. I'm not buying it. What is their farm
Milwaukee,
system?
Milwaukee did extremely well.
Well, I hear that, but what has that done for the Predators in the last couple of years? I hear all this Milwaukee. Who gives a damn? Bring them up here and have them produce. I mean,
I agree. I see that point. Although, Evangelista has done well, and I think maybe they're starting to have an impact. But I mean, I certainly understand your point.
Well, I think what my point may be is that they have acknowledged without saying it that this farm system, what they've got down on the farm, I know I'm sounding like I'm in baseball, but that they're nowhere close to getting huge help from down there. And so it appears to me that the other benefit is it puts about a 2-year stall on needing Milwaukee to really contribute. I mean, look, that's
right.
Great,
but
that
that's another reason to be.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another reason to be optimistic because now what is Trotz's term? He lets them marinate in the minor leagues, and then so I mean, that's his term, and he said marinate them instead of microwave. But I mean, so it looks like everything is as positive as it can be right now.
Let me ask you this: are you a season ticket holder?
I have been since day one, yes.
Oh, so okay, you're right there with me. What do you think this does to others who have been flex packs and whatever? Does it have the oomph that they're going to want it to have?
I hope it does. A year, I think about, I'm just my personal situation. A year and a half ago, I was not going, although I had full season tickets since the first year, I was not going to many games. I thought the product was stale. And then when they got rid of some of those players at the trade deadline, even though it appeared to be a complete rebuild, I got very interested in it again because of the way that they played. And of course, even though they didn't make the playoffs, it still piqued my interest. And then this year, they were a lot of fun to watch. And so, just using me as an example, I mean, I've totally rebought in, and I hope that this gets some people on the bandwagon, which that doesn't hurt. Obviously, I think it will generate a lot of interest. What do you think?
I hope it does, because I think it warrants that it should. The Stamkos name is a huge name, and about the time people are saying, well, he's 34, I made a friend of mine who was giving me the whole, he's 34. I said, okay, let's look up his last 3 seasons and see what age has done. Well, what age has done in the last 3 years? 116 goals.
Right.
So even if there is some downturn, you wouldn't think it'd be huge right off the bat.
No, even if he didn't score 40, if he scored 30, 34, 35 goals, that would I think that'd be okay.
All right, listen, I'm signed up for it. Get ready.
Oh, I am too.
Thanks for your call.
Thank you.
Okay, that's going to leave a line open, and I want somebody out there who's a Preds fan to jump in on that line that's open. 615-844-5600. That is our number. As we go to the break, you're listening to The George Plaster Show on 95.9 FM.
As you might be able to tell, my buddy Stan Harrison, he's an Alabama Crimson Tide fan, but he's actually here to talk about Apple Collision Centers.
Hello, Middle Tennessee. I'm Stan Harrison, CEO of Apple Collision Centers, and we understand the stress it causes in having an automobile accident. We can help you ease the stress of the auto body repair process at our 3 locations. We're conveniently located in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. We've got rental cars available, we have PDR technicians available, and we have windshield technicians available. Please stop by one of our places and see us if you need our services.
And by the way, when you come in his office, this just in, he's a sports fan.
You were in a crash.
Yeah.
Your kids were in the car with you.
We're very lucky to even be telling this story to you. Nikki treated us like family, and she was very caring and loving, and I'm just so grateful for that. She was somebody I could trust, and being a veteran, that's so important to me. My kids are going to have a better life now because I don't have to worry about those expenses that we were out. Your family has really created a legacy of trust, and I would recommend you to anyone.
Nashville Sounds Baseball is back in Hit City for the 2024 season. Spend your nights and weekends at the ballpark with weekly giveaways, fireworks shows, throwback deals, live music, and more. Top talent will take the field at First Horizon Park against the AAA Minnesota Twins, Baltimore Orioles, Atlanta Braves, St. Louis Cardinals, Cincinnati Reds, and more. Tickets start at just $10 and are available now at NashvilleSounds.com. We will see you in Hit City.
For over 35 years, Wilson Bank & Trust has been committed to providing customized banking solutions to help individuals, families, and businesses in Tennessee achieve their goals. As your full-service community bank, we are proud to offer loans with competitive rates, local decision-making, and fast, friendly service from our experienced lenders. No matter where you are on your financial journey, Wilson Bank & Trust is ready to help you take the next step. Visit your nearest Wilson Bank & Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Over the years, more men have started to seek help for hormone deficiencies and imbalances, and Dr. Jeffrey Lodge and wife Daphne, along with their experienced staff, give men the treatment required to improve their quality of life, improve your immune system, energy level, cognitive function, and more. There's no better time to achieve a healthy lifestyle. What are you waiting for? Give Cool Springs MD a call today for an appointment at 615-486-3458 or visit the website coolspringsmd.com.
If you're having plumbing issues, there's only one guy to call. That's Adam Whitehead. As a third-generation plumber, Adam was born and raised right here in Bellevue. Customers praise his professionalism, efficiency, and personability. Adam is known for his prompt response to emergencies and for providing high-quality repairs at reasonable prices. His expertise extends to various plumbing issues, including sink leaks, dishwasher installations, and outdoor water issues. Call him at 615-485-1534. That's 615-485-1534.
Touchdowns. Let him earn your business. Let the sportsbrokers.com show you how to win consistently. Call now and get today's underdog winner outright. 800-220-6262. Absolutely free. Kevin Todd is the nation's #1 sports handicapper. He's the professional the professionals turn to. It's yours absolutely free at 800-220-6262. That's 800-220-6262. Kevin Todd turns outcomes into incomes. Call now. 800-220-6262.
getting into baseball lingo. We've got two professional sports teams here who in the last few months have both improved themselves a bunch in free agency. We'll find out how much soon.
A bunch.
I think you're right. Loaded lines. Patrick in Clarksville, get us started.
Hey, George, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just a bandwagon fan. I just got on this year after the Stanley Cup. Nothing else to watch. So I got on and just started watching and just moved to Nashville. So I got on that hype train and trying to figure out the sport. And, you know, to win games, I know one thing, you got to score goals. So these two pickups today have been huge to follow, and I loved it.
Put the biscuit in the basket. So if you're new to town, hockey is a lot more fun in person. TV does the best it can, but Kelly, I don't think it can do justice to the in-game experience.
There's no question. I mean, I've been to a couple of games. I'm not a first season ticket holder like yourself, George, but you know, the first game I went to was when I was with the Bills and went to a Buffalo Sabres game, and it's much better in person. I'll say that. I've been to a couple of Predators games, and you can watch it on TV, especially when they get to the playoffs. But man, it's fast. It's cool how they change those shifts, but you got to see it in person to really enjoy it.
Billy?
No, I mean, I second that. I remember my first hockey game. I was like, "Oh, this is a brand new, whole new sport." I mean, it doesn't feel like you're anything like a baseball game or a football. It's like you got to keep up with the puck. And I remember looking behind me saying, "Who's our head coach?" Somebody said Barry Trotz. I just remember that vividly.
Wow.
My first game.
Way to keep up, Patrick. All I can tell you is this. Go to a game early and see what you think. And to be honest, the crowd at Bridgestone is better than most of the crowds around the league. It's consistently rowdier, and given half a chance, I can't wait to see what it's going to be like.
Yeah, I'm going to have to give it a try, for sure. I'm a big-time sports fan. Thank you.
Welcome. Mark in Murfreesboro, listening on 107.9. Mark, how are you?
I'm doing well, George. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
So I'm kind of curious, you know, I guess my question's twofold. You know, you're looking at paying Marshall and Stamkos till they're both 37. You know, are you worried at all about that with the amount of money that they've got, you know, on the ledger? Does that scare you? And then twofold, you know, what does it do for the team kind of being the talk of the league today? The fact that they were willing to go out and splash at free agency, you know, what does that do for the future outlooks of maybe guys in free agency down the line thinking about coming down here?
Well, there's no way to know. I would think it would excite some people. You know, I've been watching this week. We're doing the show out of my rec room as opposed to the Ford Ice Center, which is closed up for the week. And so I've been watching, and they are, you know, when they do the thing, the lead thing is Preds, all this stuff. So it's getting some national attention. That's one thing that's really good out of it.
Immediate attention, basically.
Yeah,
is what it gets you. Now, we get to the season, it could bring you some wins too, hopefully.
Yeah. Now, Kelly, this is what I believe, and I'm probably putting words in Barry Trotz's mouth. So let's just say it's me, not him. My guess is that he went into this going, if all things are equal, we're probably not going to get a score. So you know what? We're going to have to overpay. Overpay in this case may have meant Stamkos gets an extra year. And you know what? If that's what it took, so be it.
Well, yeah, some guys get better with age, as you said. The last 3 seasons, I mean, he's 34 years old now, but the last 3 seasons, what'd you say, 116 goals?
116 in the last 3 years.
Yeah, so that's kind of amazing. So some guys, you know, just understand the game. They take care of their bodies. They're in great shape. I mean, obviously he's been able to withstand that, and he's gotten better with time. Now, eventually it's going to go downhill, but I mean, I think Barry Trotz is looking at that saying this guy has been good for the last 3 years. He's a scorer. He can help us. And, you know, I've talked about the draft, these young guys, but he's always said that he wants to get younger and faster. But when you get these older guys like this, you know, you can morph that into something and you can help them build the chemistry of the team. And when you bring these young guys on now, they're involved in the organization and the system, and it's only going to help.
Mark, anything else on your end?
No, that's about it. Just, you know, it was a little tough for me to swallow, but I guess you got to do what you got to do at that level, and maybe just hope some of the young guys can step up to carry the load by the end of that term.
If it brings them, you know, conference finals or Stanley Cup, you know, finals kind of stuff, then it will have all been worth it. A little bit like the Braves. They may have to make a move in at the end of the trade deadline that is not good long term, but might get them a world title this year. And if it does, I'm all in.
And at the end of the day, this was a weakness of David Poile. I mean, there were off seasons where Preds fans felt like he didn't do enough, and the front office as a whole didn't do enough. You can't say that this offseason. So I think that's a big thing for the Preds. You went out there and you did it. You made the moves.
What I don't know and what we don't know is what kind of financial constraints was he under? Because, look, I know what it took more than anybody on the planet for that group to cobble together $192 million 16 years ago.
Well, and this is a new...
Now almost 17. Good Lord.
It's a new era, new time. So
yeah. I mean, there appears to be a little more money out there to spend. Bob on a car phone. Welcome in.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing?
We're good. How are you?
I'm good. This was a great day for the Predators. I mean, just a few years ago, when people would laugh at the idea of these top players coming to play for Nashville, and here we are today with 3 of the top 7 players as free agents. They're coming to Nashville, the Music City, and hopefully they're going to bring us the Stanley Cup, George.
You know, and I've wondered for a while, players come in here and they see the level of excitement. Why wouldn't they want to play here?
And they see it when they come in here, and the great community, the nice areas around Nashville are wonderful. There's no state income tax here. I'm surprised that this is really for the Titans and the Predators. Both have had really good luck this year in free agents.
Yeah, in the Titans' case, they simply could outspend other people because of the cap room that they had put together. And Kelly, I would contend that's why they were able to get L'Jarius Sneed, who's a shutdown corner, was they could outspend everybody.
Well, that's the great thing about having spending cap room. I mean, when you save up like that, you can go out and get guys you need for the price they want. You can get a Calvin Ridley, you can get a L'Jarius, you can get guys that are game changers. And you know, you don't know. You know, you just talked about the money with the NHL and with the Predators and what Barry Trotz has done. Now, you know, next off season may be totally different. He might not have that much money, but this year, I think the guy hit a home run. Now it remains to be seen. You know, we'll just have to wait to the season to see how it works out.
And one other thing real quick is not only do these guys have signed these great players now, they still have draft capital over the next 3 or 4 years. So they did not mortgage the future with these signings today. I mean, they still have a great road ahead going forward.
And it seems to me that what they've done, without saying it, is, I mean, let's be honest, their farm system has not exactly just bubbled with people to help the big club.
But you always hear about it.
Yeah, but who gives a damn what Milwaukee's doing? I mean, I'm tired of hearing about Milwaukee. You know, every year after the Preds are out, oh, Milwaukee, whoop-de-doo. To hell with Milwaukee. Give me players that help Nashville.
That's what I don't get. Why haven't more been called up? And
I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's transformed that may not be the word. It doesn't seem like
Transferred
it's
over.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like it has. Tomasino right now in kind of one of those bubbles.
Yeah.
Parsonen, another who looked good on paper, but really haven't gotten much done. And, it seems like this free agent splurge is designed also to buy Milwaukee some time to get their farm system back. I don't buy that that's the 6th best farm system in the NHL. It sure as hell hadn't been up here.
No. And I just wonder, because I've heard a lot about the Milwaukee stuff too.
Yeah.
But
look, I'm not taking offense on what the caller earlier said that they're ranked 6th. I'm just saying, well, they sure as hell haven't performed when they get up here like a 6th rank.
We're in Nashville. We're not in Milwaukee.
Thank you.
Wow. You two guys are salty about Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I mean, let it go.
Nothing against Milwaukee, and it's great that Milwaukee does well in May, but screw it. This is where it is, not Milwaukee. Bob, got to run on that.
He's already off.
He's gone. Okay.
He's gone. He got tired of listening to them. He got tired of listening to the Milwaukee trash. Move on, George. It's like Comcast. Let's move on.
Wow.
Get a streaming service, a new one. Let's go. Get up to 2024.
Thank you so much, Kelly. We'll go to the break. I intend to make you some money when we come back. You're listening to the George Plaster Show, even though Kelly doesn't like it, on 95.9 FM.
Good afternoon. They're still working with this fatal crash north of town, up there on Vietnam Vets, westbound right at Conference Drive. It has made a mess up through Madison this afternoon. It remains very slow and frustrating for a lot of folks trying to get north of the city on 65 northbound. Again, from OHB all the way up to Vietnam Vets, it's just been crawling. Hey, Prince's Hot Chicken now has new items on that menu. Check them all out right now at princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel downtown is at the heart of Music City. Located within walking distance of the Country Music Hall of Fame, Bar Lines at the Omni is your downtown honky-tonk destination. Watch your team from any seat on their plentiful HD TVs and catch a live show on the Bar Lines stage featuring live music 7 days a week. Bar Lines has the ultimate Southern comfort food. Get started with classic fried green tomatoes or bourbon barbecue wings. Then it's on to the massive Smashville double stack or the world famous Bar Lines grinder. Oh, you've never heard of the Bar Lines grinder? 2 kinds of cheese, lettuce, Dijon, smoked turkey, smoked bacon, smoked ham. Now that's some smoke you want. Local brews and local spirits are on tap at Bar Lines. Take a seat on the patio outside and soak up the rhythm of Music City. Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. While leaning over the fence, your neighbor said you could save money bundling home and auto insurance with Progressive. Bad news. Your neighbor leaned over a little too much and broke your fence. Dumb news. Somehow fence wood is more expensive than wood. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and to plant really tall shrubs. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Do you find yourself looking for new and exciting things to do locally with your family during the hot summer months? Thanks to Strike and Spare, you don't have to look any further. Sign up today for Kids Bowl Free. Kids Bowl Free is a summer pass where your kids 15 and under receive 2 free games of bowling every day. You can also purchase a family pass that allows you to join in on the fun. Visit any of the 5 local Strike and Spare locations in Hendersonville, Donaldson, Hermitage, Tusculum, and Murfreesboro, or visit kidsbowlfree.com/Strike and Spare and sign up today. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
Kentucky head basketball coach Mark Pope joining us. What's your vision for getting the Wildcats back to consistently competing for natties?
We're being incredibly active in the transfer portal. We're going to have mostly guys willing to come here and understand what it means to wear the Kentucky uniform. This is bigger than themselves. That's going to be a pathway for guys to hang banners, to go have incredible careers in the NBA, and a pathway for guys to build a legacy as the greatest basketball program in the country.
Jim Rome is here weekdays 11 to 2 on Nashville Sports Radio, WNSR.
Durham injury log, give them a call, 615-242-9000, or log on to bartdurham.com. First, let's check out what happened over the weekend. Look at that, 2-0 weekend.
Oh, my God, it's a miracle.
Wow.
By the way, the decision was made while you were on vacation that when we come back from July 4th, we start a new fiscal year, so to speak.
Oh, we're starting over.
Yeah.
We're out.
It's about time.
We're out, Billy. We're gone.
That was much needed.
So tonight is the slowest, the completely slowest Major League night since the season started. 3 games on the schedule. One was this afternoon. One started about 15 minutes ago. So, Kelly, that leaves us with only 1 game to choose from.
Good luck.
If you had the choice between the Milwaukee Brewers, who look like they're going to get in the playoffs, and the Colorado Rockies, who wouldn't get in anybody's playoff, who would you pick?
I believe I'd go with the Brewers, but you're probably going to go with the Rockies.
Billy?
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah. Go Brew Crew.
That's Pogie's group.
That is Pogie's group.
Yes, it is. It is. He's a big Brew Crew fan.
We got one right now. You don't want to live bet anything?
No.
Is that allowed?
I don't think on the show it is. No.
You might as well. I mean, you're 85 games back.
Only 27 to be exact. This was not a great fiscal year.
No.
Now, before that, Billy, let's be honest.
No,
the director
was
cooking with gas.
That was a good year.
Seems to have caught up a little bit.
What have you done for me lately, George? And you hadn't done anything lately. You always talk about making people money. You've lost people money.
Kelly, it's always so touching to have you as a teammate. Good Lord.
At least I speak the truth. Sorry,
George. Be more negative?
It's not negative. In today's world, when you tell the truth, you're negative, and I'm not negative. I'm just being honest.
No, I don't have any problem with you telling the truth, but at some point, I would like to think that you would say, George, I'm for you. But I know you're not.
George, I'm for you.
That's a
not
crap.
Not.
Tomorrow, Tony Basilio will join us during the 4 o'clock hour. And then
that'll be interesting.
Mark Griffin at 5 o'clock, and we will ask the question, why was Dalton Connect bypassed by so many teams? And how did Zach Edey become the 9th overall pick? See you tomorrow. Go Preds.